Yo, still bills, what's the deal, man? Leaving Sam's Club, finna go pick up my children. But peep game, man. I want to dive into motherfucking this this Keith Thurman situation, right? Like uh what else can you say about it, man? I mean, is it, did he look good? Did he look sharp? Did he look like he had his timing and everything and wasn't you clearly saw a decayed Keith Thurman in that fight. And y'all know how I feel about Keith Thurman. He was one of my favorite welterweights, and he was the only welterweight that I thought had a legitimate shot at beating Bud. That was the only. I've always thought that a Keith Thurman that was at his peak was the only really credible threat to Bud. But from what I saw on, well, first off, let me say this: I didn't order that fight. I was not ordering that fight. I let that shit be known. I wasn't ordering that shit. It should never have been put on behind a paywall. It did not deserve to be paid for. Nah, that was bullshit. Like, y'all, it's no shame over there with just how they'll just throw on a pay-per-view and just force us to. Nah, I'm not doing that. Even if it wasn't a packed house like that. You think I'm finna come out of pocket and pay for that shit? No, thank you. But that's besides the fact. He didn't have the best performance, but he still did look sharp. Now, I saw the highlights. I'm only going strictly off of the highlights. I seen him land his famous up jab a lot off of the two. I seen him do that a lot, man. He landed some big shots. The fact that Mario Barrios' nose was like, even with his forehead, that's how much that, like, his nose was clearly broken. It just like, it's no bridge right here. It was just all flat. Like, that shit was wild style to look at. Like, he crashed that man. But I'm not gonna jump out the window and say that he's ready for the likes of Spence and Bud or even Ugas. I think he needs another tune-up fight, personally. I think he should get the loser of Butayev and Montestanionis. I think he should gradually work his way back into the rankings, man, because I know that he wants to be back on top and all that, which I'm kind of second guessing. I'm not too sure, but he's talking like he wants to be back in the rankings. He's talking like he wants to be a champion again, but I don't know. We'll see, because I just didn't think that it was a reason to sit out for a whole 2 years after losing to Manny Pacquiao. I just don't agree with that. But nonetheless, he's saying that, and I hope that he's sincere in it, because he's still he's 33. That is not old. I don't know why motherfuckers keep saying that like that's old, but for him being injury prone as he has been, it could be old. Now, we do have to take into consideration the fact that he was off for 2 years. We have to look into that's something that can't be ignored. That cannot be ignored. Anybody who comes off of a 2-year layoff. I mean, look at Klay Thompson. You dig? Now, granted, it's easier to get back in rhythm in basketball because you play multiple back-to-backs, and you'll play every 2 nights or every other night. So it's a lot easier to get into rhythm as opposed to fighting, once every 3 or 4 months. But Klay Thompson was able to get back in rhythm, and Keith Thurman, he pitched the shutout to my knowledge, man. He pitched the shutout, man. He completely outlanded him. Even though I won't even look at that shit, because the PBC beat, they inflate numbers, man, for the whoever it is that they're pulling for. That shit is whack to me, man. I don't like how they do that. They did that shit with Earl Spence against Sean Porter, and they did that shit with Sean Porter against Ugas. I don't like that shit. That shit is whack. So you gotta walk on eggshells when you go into, bringing the numbers into the equation, the punch stats. But I don't think he does. I don't think he's ready right now for a shot, for a title shot. I think he should get the legitimate loser to Butayev and Stanionis. I think he should do that. I think he should go in that direction, and I don't think he's deserving of it neither. Not only is he ready, but he's not deserving of it, man. Who the fuck are you to go off for 2 years and be completely forgotten about, and you just think that you can just cut the line ahead? No, Fuck all that. Hell no. I don't think he's deserving of a title shot at this moment, man. I think if he wants to get back into legitimate title contention, he needs to go through certain waters, because I think he's still a quality welterweight. But you also got to show and prove. You don't just get to shoot to the front of the line like the freaks at the club who come in there half naked. You don't get to do that. So that's how I'm feeling about it, man. Did he win? Yeah, but I don't think he looked as sharp. Like he didn't look as fast. And this is, I'm going off highlights, so he didn't look as fast. He didn't, you know. I think he still has the pop. I think what people are failing to realize is that not only was he on a 2-year layoff, but they also upped the glove size. So instead of 8-ounce gloves, they was fighting in 10-ounce gloves. And that's another thing people keep doing. They keep trying to compare Tank's stoppage over Mario Barrios to Thurman's unanimous decision win over Mario Barrios. Man, for one, Mario Barrios was having a back and forth with Mario. Tank was having a back and forth with Mario Barrios. There was no back and forth with Keith Thurman. There was no back and forth. Floyd went up to Tank and said, yo, you losing. And he went out there and stepped on him. Thurman pitched the shutout. Let's kill this bullshit, man. Like, Tank ain't doing shit with Keith Thurman. I don't give a fuck how rusty Keith Thurman is. Keith Thurman, if they're fighting in 8-ounce gloves, Mario Barrios is going to sleep. On top of looking the way that he looked at the end of the fight. Tank is not standing in front of fucking Keith Thurman, dog. Not even close. Not even close. Keith Thurman would comatose that man. He honestly would. Y'all gotta get out of that dumb shit. Niggas go out of their way to gas Tank Davis, and it's annoying. Like, fuck, man. Just, shut the fuck up. Anyways, like I always get, to get back to Thurman, man. I don't think he's ready for Bud and Spence and Ugas at this moment. I think he could be a credible threat. And I think with a few tune-up matches under his belt, depending on how he looks in those tune-ups, I think he can be a legitimate threat. I honestly do. I honestly do. Because I don't view him as, he hasn't, well, yeah, he has taken wear and tear on his body because he's so injury-prone, but hey, I understand anybody who feels like he's done. He's washed. I get it. And at this moment, like I said, I just don't think that he'd be able to do anything with them cats up there. Even like if he was to come back and fight Virgil Ortiz or Jaron Ennis as a tune-up fight, that shit would have been catastrophic for Keith. That'd have been catastrophic. So I'm not, I think that was smart for him to say, nah, I ain't going back in. Because them niggas ain't tune-up fights. Virgil Ortiz ain't no tune-up fight. Jaron Ennis ain't no tune-up fight. So I think that was smart. I personally would have liked him to pick better opposition. Much better opposition. To really get, because you're not going to, you look bad because Barrios was able to hurt you to the body. If you're going to get hurt to the body by maybe not a proven welterweight, but a welterweight. Barrios has fights at welterweight, I just found out, but he's not nobody. He's no threat at welterweight. He's no threat at welterweight at all. So I don't know, man. I feel like his next fight, he does not need to be looking at a championship bout. I think he needs to be looking at the loser of certain fights. I think he should look in the direction of Jamal James. Personally, I think he should go try fight Jamal James. Even in the highlights I was watching, man, it did kind of look like he was overreaching on his shots. Mario Barrios just isn't defensively sound. His defense is taking punches. That's his defense. That's why he looked the way that he looked. But it did look like he was reaching a bit to land those shots. It wasn't like snappy and, slightly extending his, getting full extension on the shot. It looked like it did kind of venture off into reaching and lunging. So how does he look with someone taller than him who's able to control distance at a much better, a much better, who's able to control distance at a much degree of difficulty, at a much better degree of difficulty. I think he should go look in the direction of a Jamal James. I honestly do. I honestly do. I think that would be a real good win for him. Even though Jamal James is off of a stoppage, I think that's a fight that he should have if he wants to get back into championship aspiration. Because I think Jamal James, I think, is shit, man. Butayev had to stop him in order to get a title eliminator. Jamal James is he's a legit welterweight. I think he should go in that direction. I think that would be a good win for Keith One-Time Thurman. Go fight Jamal James. That would be dope. Or fight the loser of Butayev versus Stanionis. Go fight one of them. But you would be a fool to get in there with one of these champions right now, and you just don't deserve it. And I got a feeling that the PBC, I think Errol Spence is going to beat Ugas mainly due to politics. So when Errol Spence beats Ugas, he's gonna get in there with Keith Thurman, and that's really gonna piss me off. Because I like to see the fight, yeah, but I don't want to see it before Bud and Spence, and I just got a feeling that shit is gonna happen. So Thurman is not deserving of a title bout right now. He needs to gradually get back in the rhythm, and then go and holler at them niggas. But as it stands right now, I don't think he's not only is he not ready, but he's not deserving of it neither. And I think it would be, damn. It's a huge I bet my baby's out here. It's a huge disservice to the sport of boxing if Keith Thurman is launched to the front of the line ahead of everybody else, looking the way that he looked after that absence. Peace.